social media is the worst thing for it.
It is.
Like, if you didn't go on social media, you wouldn't see half the things that these people,
Honestly,
the same age as you are doing.
100%
So then you wouldn't
agree.
put that pressure on yourself to be like, well, I need to be doing this. I need to be buying a house. I need to be doing all this. You don't.
No.
Like, you do not. You need to be doing what you want to do and what's right for you at that stage. And that's all that matters. Hi guys, and welcome back to episode 5 of the Coffee Shop Podcast
with Sophie and Elise.
Okay, let's be as real as we always are. It's been a week.
What a disaster that was.
Currently filming this right now. Episode 4 is not even out.
No. It went all wrong. The camera was blurry.
Wrong, didn't it?
Every time we were checking though, it looked like it was fine. We even got up 3 times, didn't we? We were like, yeah.
Between us both, we checked so many times. I don't know how we've not seen that the footage was blurry, and
we obviously need to go Specsavers.
Yeah, we do.
Because it was blurry.
Little ad for Specsavers there.
Yeah, if you are watching it, just bear with really, because
we
tried our best.
You might not like it. Don't tell us.
I feel like we're putting so much pressure on ourselves, and we were like, it's not perfect, but
yeah.
At first we were like, we're not putting it out because it's not perfect, but we have to. It's a bit of content, isn't it?
That's it, exactly. Not every episode is going to be
perfect,
exactly the dream, but we're learning. It's all a learning curve.
And now we've checked it and checked it again. So if it's still blurry,
then we give up.
We're really sorry. At least you can just listen to it.
It won't be on YouTube the following week.
We'll sack YouTube off. We'll probably sack Spotify off. We'll probably
Elise's words tonight when she got here were, "We just need a producer."
Yeah, it's like, I wish we had a little team of people that could just run around helping us.
That literally the living like version of that saying where it's like, don't run before you can walk. Like, we're trying to sprint.
We are. We're like, where is the production?
Yeah.
Where is our studio
manager?
Yeah, social media, PR. Yeah. We need it all.
We do.
Does anyone want to volunteer? Maybe help 2 gals out. We can pay in cups of teas and coffee.
Yeah, literally. That is about it.
The wine.
So no, episode 5 is going to be all things advice we would give our younger selves.
Yeah, we just thought, we started out not having a clue, and if we could have had someone to give us this advice, then it might have helped us. And I love a quote. You know, I love a quote.
You've tired me.
And we've got plenty. The book will be massive.
Yeah. I was just going to say, we're basically like in the process of making a quote book right now.
Yeah, we are.
That is what we should have called it, like the quote podcast.
Yeah, the inspirational quotes.
By Elise Hannah.
Yeah.
I love it.
We definitely didn't get the one right the last time about dancing in the rain, but
do we even know now what the right saying was?
It's not about take a storm.
It is something like it's about learning.
Someone let us know what this quote is, because we
should have googled it, because I was actually thinking about it the other day, like, what actually is it?
It's not about learning. It's not about looking out and seeing a storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
No, that's so wrong. It's definitely something like, it's not about something in the rain. It's about learning to dance in a storm. Yeah. Do you know what is funny? My sister actually had the quote on her bedroom wall when we were growing up. Like, I don't know why I don't remember it. That's why I know storm was the last bit. I mean, watch me be getting that totally wrong, and it is actually.
Well, if anyone knows it, let us know.
Please let us know.
So, we're rambling.
Without further ado, let's get into episode 5.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, take it away.
Are we going to go with what people have said, or are we going to go with our own first, do you think? Should we go for what someone else has said?
Yeah, and then we'll get sick of what we have to say.
Yeah. And we just talk rubbish anyway.
We just waffle on.
I just make up this quote and I'm like, God, who do I think?
And all week we're like really chuffed with ourselves.
Yeah,
but remember when we said this?
It was so good.
Okay, so do you want to pick one to read first?
Right, okay. So, somebody has said, which is a really good one to start on actually, take time to grow up and don't rush into life so fast. So I think that is a good one.
Yeah, it really is.
I think a lot of people, especially when you get into your 20s, put that pressure on themselves to have life figured out, and you just can't.
No, 100%.
Nobody knows.
And I think one of the hardest things is about being in your 20s is there is some people that are having children or getting engaged or getting their first house, but there's also some people that are still living with their mum and dad, or with their mum or with their dad, and everyone is in different lanes so much. I think your 20s are such a weird age where, like I said, you do have some people that are their dream probably was to have a baby. So they're like, do you know what? I'm ready. I'm going to do it
Yeah.
now. And then, I mean, like now I look at people that are having kids and I think, God, I'm so far away from that. But they maybe look at me and think that I'm doing things that they're so far away from. Like, you know what I mean? Like 20s is just a weird old age.
It's just a weird age. And I feel like everyone says when you get to your 30s, it's more like you stop caring and stop putting that pressure on yourself.
You're so true.
So I feel like we should just start now and just think, you know what? It doesn't matter what so-and-so down the street's doing. Everyone's in their own lane. Everyone's trying their best to get through life.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do, really, isn't it?
Honestly. And I think, honestly, this sounds a bit brutal. I was just thinking then I'm going to say it. And then I thought, actually, it just sounded a bit brutal. But social media is the worst thing for it.
It is.
Like, if you didn't go on social media, you wouldn't see half the things that these people,
honestly,
the same age that you were doing.
100%
so then you wouldn't put that pressure on yourself to be like, well, I need to be doing this. I need to be buying a house. I need to be doing all this. You don't.
No.
Like, you do not. You need to be doing what you want to do and what's right for you at that stage. And that's all that matters.
I think you just compare yourself to little glimpses that they post. But I know for myself, I can post something as though I'm having the time of my life. And then on the night, I'll be having a breakdown thinking, oh, God, this has gone wrong. This has gone... Like, no one knows. No, you only see the highlights of someone's day or weekend.
Prime example, like you can literally be sitting at home in your pajamas on the sofa, slobbing out.
Yeah.
But post a photo of you from 3 days ago, super glam, having a cocktail on a rooftop terrace in York somewhere. Like, it's prime example, but people will see that and think, oh, she's always out. Or, you know, look at that, like living the life on a Thursday night. No, reality is we're at home in our pajamas, or, you know, you're at home in your pajamas. Like, it is, and I think social media is just the, in a way, I don't know, I think there's so many benefits for it and I love it, I do.
Yeah.
But I think it can be seen, like, be the worst, you know, it can be like your worst enemy, really, in situations like that.
Do you know as well, she said about, like, don't rush to grow up. I feel so grateful that we grew up when we were younger, like younger, without phones really being a thing, because we would go out and play on the street or whatever, and like the lamps would be telling you to go home, like when the street lights come on, whereas kids don't have that now. I mean, I know it is better in terms of what if they need someone that can just
for safety
reasons. But
and as well, like, you know, there's that quote on Facebook. A quote. It's like not even a quote, it's like a meme, really. And it's like, what happened to like the Dream Map Moose era? You know, and it's like, do 13-year-olds and 14-year-olds not go through that anymore? Like, gosh, I used to.
I know, that's what I mean. The pressure.
Like, they found this Dream Map Moose like plastered on with my fingers. That was like shades too dark for me. But I just think it's part of growing up. And I just think now, like,
there's
in a TikTok era and in an Instagram era, a Kardashians era, like, kids aren't doing that anymore, and teenagers aren't doing that anymore.
I know. I feel like I agree. There's so much pressure on kids at the minute to be older than what they are. So they just need to like let it be and live life and be kids. Because like I know that I very much live my childhood. It's more like in adulthood that I'm like the pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself. But yeah, I agree with that. Take time to grow up. And
no, I love that one.
Do you want to go for the next?
Yeah, so I saw this one and I literally was like, I love this one and I could relate to it like a lot. So this one says, consistency is key no matter the level of skill. And I just think that's so true.
Yeah.
And like, I think I read it out to you just as we sat down and I was like, you can even relate that to, again, like social media for our own businesses. So, and even really for the podcast, like we've been trying to post clips and things to TikTok all the time. And you send me all the ones, don't you? And it's like, just keep posting. You know, not everyone is going to get 100,000 views. I mean, we'd love to get one that has that many views, but they're not going to straight away, and not everyone is going to. And I think it's even like that TikTok sound that was like, keep showing up. And I think it's like what people use when they're in the gym and stuff. And it's like, just keep going, just keep doing it.
You never know what's going to be the next one that takes off.
Exactly. I think you've even said something like that before. Like, you can be so close to quitting, yet you don't know that one next time you try something.
We were naive though, when we thought our first one would take off and that would be it.
We did. We thought top of the podcast charts.
We
like, did. With Stephen Bartlett.
Are we going to be a guest on his podcast?
Yeah. We were at Dairy was here.
Just got off the phone with them.
I think that's so true. And I think with anything.
Yeah, with the coffee shop, with the little events company. Yeah. It's all about just being consistent. And even when you feel like giving up, which you will, just keep going. Everyone has their down days in no matter what they do. If it's a job, if it's in college, uni, everyone has days when they feel like they can't do it or they're not good enough.
Yeah.
But you can do it.
just keep going, and the universe is going to repay you in time, and things will work out how they're meant to. And I think it's just about the not giving up. And again, link back to the imposter syndrome. Like, you might think, well, I'm not as good or I'm not as worthy as somebody else that's doing the same thing as you. No, but like this one says here, like, no matter the level of skill, you're still entitled to do it. So just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And you're only going to get better by keeping on doing that something.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep telling ourselves this, because we're not getting any better. We're getting worse from episode number 4.
We keep thinking it can't get worse, and then something smacks us in the face, and we're like, oh, wait.
No, but we were so confident, man. We were
we
were sat there, oh, it's gone really well. Like, we're getting in the groove.
A routine now.
Yeah, it's gone fab, and then upload it, and we're just like, oh, God. Why?
Elise will just message me like, OMG, or Soph. And then I just think, great, it's done. I'm quitting again, not this again. And something else has happened.
We're hanging up our mics.
And then it goes from like, OMG to Elise Hannah sent a voice note. And then you're like, oh, great, it's getting worse. What's going on?
And then it actually goes out and we're like, it's all right. And then we'll do that
next week. And then the same thing or worse happens.
And that's just life, ups and downs.
It is, exactly. Do you know what? No matter the level of skill, just keep going, consistency.
Because we've got no skill at all. And we're trying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay, so do you have another favourite you want to go with?
Yeah. So if we go on to the next one, they've said to always do the things that scare you and to take the risk to live the life you've always dreamt of.
Oh, that's lovely.
That is a lovely one.
That is a nice one.
I just think nothing comes without a bit of risk, does it?
No, absolutely. And I just think you only do, to honestly say the cringiest of quotes, but you do only live once. And I just think you have one go at this life. So if you're not doing and living your dreams, then
what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And your dream might be completely different to our dream. Your dream might be raising a family, or your dream might be
living in the countryside somewhere, or waking up every day and going on a lovely walk. And I just think just do it. Like, I know that maybe sounds a bit like
not everybody can.
Naive, just do it. Like, just go on a walk. You probably get up early for work or whatever.
Yeah.
But any little bit of your dream that you can do,
just try your best
and just cling to that. If we've all got dreams, and I'm sure, like, our dreams are a bit unrealistic sometimes, but if you can just live a teeny tiny bit of them.
A bit unrealistic. I mean, we come in every week and we're like, should we do this today? What were we on about with this? Can't wait for our franchise of coffee.
Someone said to me in the week, they're like, you really can't tell that you're just winging it. And I was like, no, there's winging it. And then there's genuinely what we do. I said, we literally do not know what we're talking about until we sit down.
Yeah.
And literally until we click record, really.
Exactly. Go on then, give us a bit of your advice or something you'd want to.
Okay, are we ready? I think one of mine, I can't say it's the best ever because I think that's quite hard.
Yeah.
One of them actually came from my mom. Sorry. And it was ever since I had the coffee shop, and I had quite a bad experience in my first year. I'd been open about 7 months, I want to say, not even, maybe about 6 months. And obviously, like I mentioned in the first episode, I have an alcohol license here.
Yeah.
And anyway, one day, it was a lovely sunny day. The garden was full, selling a lot of alcohol. And this man came through the door and he was like, I remember one of the girls went to greet him and he was like, no, I'm actually just here to see Sophie. So I was like, hi, can I help, blah, blah, blah.
Hi, I'm famous.
Here I am. And he was like, oh, should we just step outside?
Ooh.
So then, your heart's going. Bear in mind, I was still new to this industry. I was like, gosh, what is going on? And basically he was from the council and he just basically said that on my file. So I had done everything I needed to do to get my personal license, everything like that when it came to the alcohol side. But he basically said on their records, it hadn't been officially sort of swapped over.
Oh, God.
So on their records, the people that still held the alcohol license for this business was the previous owners that obviously I'd bought the coffee shop from. So I was like, no, I've got my personal license certificate upstairs, I've got my DPS, I've got everything I need. And he was just like, yeah, that's fine, it's all well and good. And I was going, I can go get my certificate. And he was like, no, that's all well and good. But because it's not on our records, he said, technically, we could shut you down right now because technically what you're selling is illegal. And he was like,
if the police came.
And he was like, and I was like, what does that mean? What would happen? I've been selling alcohol since the day I opened.
Yeah.
in my head, I just thought we ticked the boxes. I'd got the paperwork to prove it, and that was that. And he said, essentially, any money that you've made off alcohol from the day you've opened, you could have to pay back. Bear in mind, I'd only been open 6 months. I didn't have it. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
wasn't taking any
how would they
profit.
know?
Like,
They wouldn't even know.
I don't have a clue. And to make matters worse, obviously I was here by myself I had a few staff at this point. To make matters worse, my mum and dad were on holiday. And I still now, if anything goes wrong, I'm literally straight on the phone. I'm like, what shall I do? Like, what do you think I should do? So I obviously straight away I was like, guys, like, I'm gonna have to ring my dad. And he was like, you have to stop selling alcohol from this point until this is sorted. Bear in mind, that garden was full. It was about 3:00 in the afternoon. Cocktails were going out. So I was a bit like, oh my goodness, like, okay. Obviously I was really trying hard to fight back the tears. I had staff in here that I didn't want to look like I was a baby in front of.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't want to look like a baby in front of him.
I'd have put on the tears.
But yeah, I was petrified. I thought, oh my goodness, like, this is it. Like, I've been going 6 months and I'm gonna be closed down because of this. So anyway, obviously he went and he was like, look, he was nice, right? He was like, this is my number. Try and get it sorted. Yeah. But until it's sorted, he said, we are like basically seizing like the sale of alcohol. Like, if you do it and we see it, you will be shut down. So obviously I was like, no, like, of course I won't sell anything. Like, don't worry, blah, blah. So I got straight on with it with my dad. Long story short, I ended up having to close. From that night, I closed. Right, so this was, say, like, maybe a Wednesday or Thursday. I ended up closing over the weekend because, like, 3/4 of my business on a weekend is alcohol. Yeah. I was like, I cannot open and advertise.
If you're walking over that bridge, people come from the train.
Exactly.
Like, everyone's for a day session.
Exactly. And I was like, I can't advertise as being a cocktail bar / coffee shop in the middle of a city centre, and then when people walk through that door, be like, no, we're not selling alcohol this weekend. I said, firstly, it looks really dodgy.
And you didn't want people thinking that you don't sell alcohol at all and never coming back.
Exactly. It couldn't damage me. Like I said, I was in the middle of my first summer. And anyway, it was really, really hard. And I remember the first night that I got home, me and my boyfriend were staying at my mum and dad's because obviously they were on holiday, and I was on the phone to my mum and dad, and my dad was just like, so if these things happen, just close, we'll get it sorted. And I couldn't speak, like, reply because I was crying so much. And to be fair, Ben, bless him, was sitting there, and my mum and dad obviously talking on speaker, and Ben was just going, she can't speak, she's crying that much. And my mum was like, I thought she might be. So then I was sobbing even more because I knew that they were obviously knowing that I would have been distraught, and I was so anxious.
And they were on holiday.
So and like I said, I rely on them so much of their advice, their opinions. So anyway, long story short, it actually wasn't anything that on my side that we'd done wrong. Basically, I had sent everything, once I'd got all my certificates and everything, I had sent it all to my solicitor. And it's like, I think it was to do with them getting, basically, I had to get the previous owners to sign something. I can't even really remember. I think it was to prove that they sort of had handed the premises. It was maybe to do with the premises license. To be honest, I can't remember the nitty-gritty bit, like, the little bits to it now. It was a good couple of years ago. Anyway, we got sorted. And my dad did say, he was like, so if your solicitor have sort of let you down a little bit here. Yeah. Got it all sorted with the council. Obviously, I lost a weekend trading, but, these things happen.
It's always other people, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's a long story short, we're coming back full circle. My mum said to me, she said, so these things happen and you have to take these bad days to make you appreciate the really, really good days. Yeah. And to be honest, that has stuck with me, and that has proven so true since having the coffee shop. Like, some days are just really shitty, and I'll have maybe not the nicest of people, and stuff will go wrong, and I'll just be so deflated. But then other days I'll have fab days, and it's busy, and we've had lovely customers, and the team's worked really well, and I'm just like, this is what I did it for.
Honestly, I'm selling up every other weekend. I'm like, oh my, and then the next I'm like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, that's definitely it for me. Like, take the bad days because they make you appreciate the better days.
Yeah, better days will always come, even if you think they won't.
Exactly, the brighter days come, and that's it. Like, however bad the day is, the night still comes, the sun will still rise tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day, and
it comes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really good advice.
So
we write that in the
Sorry,
book,
I think I might have taken the quote crown off you right now.
Yeah, I know.
So what do you want to do?
How am I going to top that one?
Well, take it away.
Mine is probably to learn from your mistakes and not let them eat you alive. Like,
that's good.
We're only human. Naturally, you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And especially us being so young, it's inevitable. And I think, as I've said before, I am the type of person to put so much pressure on myself. One time, I actually turned up at the wrong venue and it was for a wedding. So it was my fault really, but I put the address in and I was driving down and I kind of knew where it was, but it was taking me this proper off it way. And I was like, what is going on here? I'd set off early in the AM because I'm kind of like...
Was this quite early on in the events company days?
It was early on.
Right.
And I was quite anxious anyway, so I thought, set off early, be there early, get it done, all set up. Brilliant. So I'm just...
a productive queen.
Yeah, I'm just driving along in my little van and I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. Something's not right. But in my head, by myself, I know. Like, usually when I have a wedding, I never do it on my own. And I was just like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It was not, in fact. So I got to this venue and it was in Durham and I was like, what is going on? Anyways, the venue had the same name as a school in Durham, and because I just typed it in
God.
I know, so I was at this school.
So a primary school?
It was like, I think it might be in a primary.
Oh God, you turned up at a village primary
school. A village primary school.
With all the stuff for a wedding.
Yeah. Hi, I've got everything in there, like, sorry. No.
Yeah. Sorry, we're currently in assembly.
Yeah, so here's me. I was like, oh my goodness. Googled the proper address, like postcode, everything. It was another hour and a half journey to get there. And also I'd already drove
my God.
an hour to Durham. And then it was like an hour and a half to get from where I drove to the actual venue. And I was crying. I was like having a panic attack in the van. I was like, what am I going to do? Bearing in mind, because I'd set off that early, I had plenty of time. It wasn't as though I'd left it until the last minute.
Which is like now.
Yeah,
now you would be cutting it very fine.
So then I rang up the venue and I was like, I'm really sorry, like, because for me, if someone gives me a time, I need to be there at that time.
Yeah.
Whereas realistically, they just say it round about that time.
Yeah.
They're not. It's a wedding, like they give plenty.
I suppose you're there when it's like the setup process as well.
Yeah, they give plenty of time for setup. But in my head, I'm like, no, they said this time, I need to be there.
Well, that's good though.
I know.
Again, like it's all these things that you would want, like the people you're hiring to be like.
So I was can I say I was speeding? I was not. I was driving.
I basically told them I had an alcohol license.
I was driving responsibly, but I was like trying to be a bit quicker than usual. And then I got there, I was shotting these trees up like there's no tomorrow, but I have to put individual candles on every single tree branch, so that takes ages. I was sweating. The photographer man was there and he was just like, oh, hiya, Elise, because he knows me from other ones. And I was like, hi, like,
I'm stressed.
Yeah, I was like, I'm really stressed. He was like, why? You've got loads of time. Don't worry about it. But in my head, I was like, this is it. I'm messed up.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got it up in plenty of time. It was absolutely fine. But I was in that much of a dither when I came out. I was like, just wanted to be gone. I just wanted it to be over with and to be gone. I reversed into a tree and smashed my full light out. So.
Jesus Christ. So I don't know if there's any outcome of this whole podcast so far. It's at least in any like vehicle.
Yeah.
Just don't go hand in hand.
I have actually got a new van. Can we just put it out there?
Yeah, that is good.
I have purchased a new van. It's a bit smaller than my other van, and I'm touch wood, but it's going well. I feel like I'm over the stage of not being able to drive.
We're at the point where Elise will get, so Elise can drive.
Yeah.
She'll get the train to York.
Yeah.
So then we'll meet up, we'll be like, yeah, let's film. I will drive us home. And then Elise's boyfriend then has to drive half an hour one way to collect her. She's there with all her stuff. Yeah, Elise has got a lovely car and van sitting at home.
I just don't know what it is. Like some days I'll wake up and I'll be like, easy. One person beeps at me, that's it.
Do you know what? I'm the same. Like, obviously, I'd leave for work quite early. So one bad thing happens when I'm driving. So like, someone will beep at me or someone will like, I don't know, give me a bit of a hand gesture out the window, and then I'm in the worst mood driving. And I'm like, I'm sick of driving. I have such a long commute every day. I'm sick of this.
Yeah, but the thing is about us, we have to drive. Like we drive all over every weekend.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what it is about me. I just some days I just think I'm just not going to do it today, and I just don't.
I'm just going to hide them keys for the day.
Like I think the van's broke today. Like it's definitely not.
Sorry, Jace.
Do you know what put me off? That car park. There's an underground car park that you have to
It's
park
not
in.
underground. It's just a multi-story.
It's just a multi-story. But it was so tight, and I was like, I can't do this again.
The first time we were in my car coming down, and Elise was literally like holding her breath. I was like, Elise, I do this twice a day, every single day. Like, it's gonna be fine.
And I chipped the wheel, didn't I?
Yeah. I didn't think we were ever telling anyone.
Oh no, I did actually say it, and then
we'll cut that out.
I know. I did. I chipped the wheel. I did. But
we've all been there.
And I'm just useless with driving, but I think I'm over it now. I know that was only a couple of weeks ago.
There's a lovely brand new van that's sitting on your drive at home right now.
It did take me 5 years to pass my driving test.
Yeah, so. But these things take time.
I know. 5 years, maybe not that much time. Is anyone else not a good driver? Because make me feel better about myself. I hope it's not just me.
No, we've all been there. I get quite bad
You're
road
confident.
rage. Yeah, but I get road rage. I think it's because I spend so much time in the car.
You were in uni, whipping about in your...
Yeah, but this is what I mean. To be fair, like growing up, we lived sort of out of it a little bit. Like we never really lived in the middle of a town. So I've always like...
had to drive.
Yeah, like even before I obviously passed my driving test, my mum and dad were always taxiing us about. But the day I passed my driving test, I genuinely joke was like one of the best days of my life.
Yeah.
Because that freedom we experienced, like,
you know what?
We literally had to go 40 minutes for a supermarket when I was younger.
Like, you know what? We could do a full podcast on driving, to be honest.
Yeah, we could.
We've gone on a tangent, haven't we?
We have. People be sick of it. Right, shall we? So you've summarised your nice advice.
I can't even remember what my advice was now. No, it was to not let you mistake.
Yeah.
So from putting it in wrong, I now check again, and I've never done it since.
You double check yourself.
Yeah, I've never done it since, and I will never do it again. And
no,
yeah, it was traumatic.
We're learning, we're thriving.
Yeah, everything worked out. It always does. Everything does work out.
Like, that's prime example that there was a reason that morning you gave yourself plenty of time, and you were like, do you know what? No, like I want to be super early. I want to be on it. Because
and you know what some people say? It's the burnt toast theory. Have you heard it?
Oh my God, right? So I only heard it on TikTok for the first time this week, and I was thinking to myself yesterday, because I knew we were doing this episode, and I was like, we should totally mention the burnt toast theory.
So if anyone has ever heard of it, or if you haven't heard of it, the burnt toast theory is that if on a morning you burn your toast, for instance, and you are furious because you're like, oh God, I'm in a rush, I burnt my toast.
I've now got to do another load.
Yeah, but whilst you're doing that, you could have been driving and there's been an accident and you've missed that accident. Or you could have, I don't know.
Yeah, like I know a girl on my TikTok said she was explaining it and she was like, I met my boyfriend. I think it might even be like a fiance now, or like a husband. Yeah, and she said that morning, she said it was like the burnt toast theory. And she was like, for example, that morning, if her toast hadn't burnt, in theory, she would have never bumped into him because they'd have just completely missed each other.
I love it.
And she was like, it is so true. That's so crazy that we both thought of that.
I just have to look at it that way. Maybe there was a guardian angel there being like, you cannot be on this road at this time with your driving skills.
When you like think about the burnt toast theory, like it's so true, like to everything. Like, I don't know, you just think like little things, even with our businesses and stuff. Like if my dad had never checked that website that day, and you know, maybe someone would have already snapped this up, or you just don't know, do you? It's just crazy.
You really. I always think when I was mentioning about the enterprise place, what if that woman hadn't have gone out of her way to be like, no, hang on a minute, like,
or what if try and get she'd have had her lunch that little bit later that day, so you spoke to somebody else on the phone,
and they were like, oh, we
then
help
just said, no, sorry, you're not in the catchment area.
I know.
It's crazy.
It is. So we're going to take it.
Like that. Shall we do someone else's that they've sent in?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this one's put, ignore what everyone else wants/expects you to do and do what's best for you.
Yes,
so
I love this.
Literally. You know what's best for you inside. And
I mean, I'm not dropping my mum in it, but Lindy Loopy, if you are listening, she said to me when I first started, I mean, she is the most supportive person. I'm not saying she's not supportive of me. But when I first said I was going to try this, she was like, are you sure you're going to do that? Are you not going to use your uni degree? Like, you've been at university for 3 years.
Or about the
no, not the podcast. The podcast, she was like, she's learned from me now. She's like, oh, really, Brill? The little events. She was like,
right, okay.
Are you not going to use your degree and try and do something with it? Which I can understand. Probably should have tried, but at the same time, I was just like, I don't enjoy doing it. Yeah. Like, if it's something that I'm not going to enjoy now, How am I going to make a career of it? It's just not practical. And she was really supportive. I mean, she lent me at home to start everything.
Yeah, they've been good,
really good. So, but it's just that thing. If I'd have been like, maybe I should.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have the little events company.
100%. I'm one of them people that I really take other people's opinions like as Bible to myself.
Oh,
like,
really?
With like when it comes to my family and stuff, I do. Yeah, like so much so that Ben tells me like all the time. He's like, Sophie, you do it too much. Like sometimes I'll have a decision in my mind, and if one person that I'm close to makes me question that decision that I've maybe done the wrong thing or thought the wrong thing, I'll change everything and I'll be like, no, yeah, you're right. And sometimes I just think, no, stick to your guns. Like you've thought of that or gone with that decision for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think like this one says, like, just do what's best for you. And maybe
only you know what at the end of the day what is best for you. And if something mucks up, it mucks up, doesn't it? You've got plenty of opportunity to start again or start fresh or
and I'm also like a really strong believer that like nobody looks out for you as much as you do.
Yeah, that's so true.
So like if you're not looking out for you, no one is.
We're all the main character in our own lives.
Exactly. So believe it, and
you're just like a side thing in my life.
Just a side character.
And the main event.
Main character vibes.
Yeah, I love that.
No, very true. That is a good one.
So someone else said, don't be afraid to take a risk. The sooner the better, which I do think is quite true.
Yeah, I agree.
You can dwell and dwell and dwell on things, but nothing changes unless you make a change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of people said to me when I was first taking this over, I was, it was the middle of COVID. I was very, very scared to leave a nice, stable job. And literally, I think it might even be one of my sisters that said to me, like, you're not going to get anywhere in life if you don't ever take a risk. So yeah, do it. There's a chance that it's not going to work out, but there's also a chance that it does. And what if it does? You know?
Really good one. I like that one.
I do. I think it's just sometimes just take that leap of faith.
I know it is a bit scary though.
It is.
I'm in the position now where I know I'm very comfortable and I know that if I want to go to the next level and to progress, that I need to take some kind of risk because I am a bit in limbo and it's scary.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at the minute. If anyone has any tips and advice of how to take that leap, then I'm very open to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the minute, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Maybe like imposter syndrome though as well. Like
I know, but it has to happen. Otherwise, I'm just going to be stuck in the same spot.
And I just think, I was just going to say, if you don't ever take the risk, you're never going to develop and you're never going to grow and get bigger. We all can get in a bit of like a comfort zone, but stepping out of that comfort zone is a step to progressing, I suppose.
I mean, if I come back next month and we're on episode 23 and I'm like, actually, the little events company is no more. We went under.
I took that risk and it didn't work.
I took your advice. It didn't work. We've gone bust. That's it.
God, imagine.
No. Don't manifest that.
Let's not put that out there.
God. Right. Well, I think that was a good roundup. Is there any more you want to read?
No, I think we've done like quite a good variety, sort of covered lots of different areas.
Yeah. Do you want to go on to our favourite part?
Yeah, absolutely.
Business confessions. I just want to say as well, if you do have any business confessions, please send them in because they're honestly so funny. I know some of them can be quite serious, but this next one really is quite funny. So Sophie's just trying to get this up on the laptop at the minute. No pressure. I'm just buying time. It's like when they're on live on live on ITV and something's going on in the background. Stressed. I know I would be. I don't know how they managed to take. Did you watch it on Love Island?
No.
So on Love Island, when Maya Gemma announced that the people that were going to leave.
I heard about this actually.
So I was watching it and I was like, she's just said it was about like going to leave. They didn't mention anything about it, and I don't even know if it was that much of a big deal. But I was like, and then the tense music came on, and everyone sat around the fire pit like, who's going to leave? It's like you've already announced it.
God. Okay, we've just refreshed. Oh, this is going to be good. Here we go. We're on. Right. Are you going to go for it?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, go. Okay. Take it away.
So someone wrote in, they said, so this is my confession. I worked at a coffee shop / ice cream parlour when I was in college. I was about 17 or 18. It was one of those weekend jobs that I would turn up severely hungover. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we?
Literally rolled out of bed straight to work.
And it was every single Saturday or Sunday. One Sunday, I was cleaning the tables before we opened, and I actually fell asleep on one of the tables whilst I was cleaning it. The week after, the cafe was really quiet, and there were no customers inside. I was bored and decided to play a hungover trick on my supervisor.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. I would be scared. I would not do that. Would not be me. She had been in the kitchen and came around the cafe area when I pretended to faint on the floor. I was laid there on the floor, so I was passed out for a few moments. It was clear that it was a joke. Then I jumped up and was like, and started laughing. She didn't find it very funny. Anyway, the next weekend I got the sack. That's hilarious.
Imagine just the fact that she thought I'm going to like pretend that I passed out.
Like, and then be like, and you could just imagine the supervisor being like,
what is
that
going
is
on?
not funny at all.
This is not what we've come to work to do.
But when you're 17, 18, you just find anything
you just
funny.
don't care as much, do you?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I love that.
I used to go to work hungover all the time, and
I did.
I cannot hack the hangover.
No.
For me, it's not something that has just gradually happened. Like, you know, when people say, oh, the older you get, the worse your hangover.
Yeah, you can't handle it as much.
I have never, ever.
Yeah, you have. You've always had them bad,
always.
To be fair.
I am sick all day, all night.
See, I'm not really sick, but I do get them bad now. So much of that, I've almost put myself off doing it.
We need
we
hangover tips, don't we?
Yeah, that would be good.
It has put me off. I used to drink
if I'm
all
at
the
work
time.
the next day, I just don't really do it now.
I can't do it now because obviously I have to drive and things, and I am
like
such a sicker, so I just don't. But when I was younger, I used to go out all the time, and no matter what, I would still go on, but I would be violently ill.
Oh, yeah.
But why?
We actually, like, me and my girlfriends at home, like, we used to get in at about 5, and I would start work at 8. And, you know, and you just think now, like, that would knock me out for days.
Yeah.
Like, for days, I would be recovering from that. I would not feel good. No. I'd have no voice. I'd be tired. I'd be lethargic. Back then,
you just keep going.
I'd finish work and have a takeaway and I'd go to bed. That would be my day, but I'd be absolutely fine. Like, and I just think, how did we do it?
How? I don't know how I did it, even though I had hangovers just as bad. Like, I would spend all day being sick, and then it would turn to like 7 o'clock. I was going to tell a story. I'm going to tell it anyways.
Go on.
So I can remember my first day of uni. My mum and dad were like, don't go out, don't ruin it for yourself. It's freshers. Like, you want to be lively. You're meeting all your new flatmates. Just be respectful. And I was like, yeah. Anyways, didn't do that. We went out in Yam the night before. I was ill, and obviously I had to move into my flat. My dad had a van and he was driving us down, like me down, and I had to stick my head out the window. I was sick. The wind was blowing and it was just going back. I was like, this is a low moment for me. I went in the flat and I went straight up to like,
I bet your mum and dad were just like,
they were so embarrassed. Do you know what? Right. I went to Sunderland Uni. The travel's about half an hour. I got to the actual, what's it called? Accommodation.
Yeah.
And I was like leaning over being sick, and my mum was going, I know we've had a long journey, haven't we? so I was pretty trying to say
that. Is so funny. Like, you've come from like down south, you've actually come half an hour.
Yeah, and she was like, it was a low moment. Obviously, I've grew out of that. I'm not like that anymore. But
hardly.
I know, it was a really low moment. But then I had to go up to the uni accommodation when it was like dead ignorant to everyone. Everyone was like, oh God, she'll be a barrel of laughs, won't she? And I had to pull myself around and go out on the night.
God. They do say what makes you bad makes you better.
You were very good at going out at uni.
Yeah. I was quite a party girl, if I'm honest.
Party gal.
Party girl.
Girl.
How life has changed, you know, literally.
I know.
Once every 5 months, I would say now, genuinely.
I know. I literally can't do it.
No, I'm the same. Weekends are just my busiest time.
I know.
So unless now we're going away somewhere or something like that, like, it doesn't really happen.
When we went away in January, didn't we? We just chilled and
we just had like a night. It was a nice
It was
vibe.
So nice. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it was good.
I feel like we're out of that era a bit.
We are. We're in more of like our, I don't know, what would you say? Like, how would you describe
wholesome
the era? Wholesome. I love that word.
Do you actually?
Yeah, I think
Possibly,
so.
yeah. I think some
and like a wine girl era, like
yes.
I mean, we're there having like we have like a bottle of sangria.
Do we just
sugar sangria? Sorry.
Do we just like to create different personalities?
Yeah, it just depends the day, really.
Yeah. Literally. What day is it today?
We'll probably get that from different episodes of this. Like one episode we're like put together and we're like, you know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Then days like today come about where we're just like, do you know what? Yeah, absolutely.
And like tomorrow I'll be a gym girl for a day.
No, I'll have pure anxiety tomorrow. I hate the night and the day after when we film.
Right.
I just overthink so much. I'm like, oh God, what did I say? Like, did I say anything I'm going to regret?
No, you shouldn't feel like that.
No, I'm getting more and more confident. I am, and more like settled in the groove.
There's a cut button for a reason.
I thought you were going to say there's a quote for that.
I got a quote for that. Don't be
Any
bothered.
problems, Elise has got a quote for that. If anyone wants to message in just because they want Elise to give them like a personalised quote, like we can
£5 per quote.
No, but in all seriousness, we need business confessions.
Yeah, send them in.
Yeah, if you have any funny stories you want to like us to share,
and if you've liked, subscribed, commented,
streamed,
please keep them coming because it really means the world.
It does. And remember to like post, share on your story how you're listening to us. Like, we'd love to see that.
If you've made it this far, because I feel like I've rambled a lot today. Sorry, guys.
Same.
But never mind. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
And if you have anything you want us to speak about,
or guests that you would like us to attempt to get on,
we'll have to attempt.
Yeah, I mean, we can't promise anything.
We're not going to get Kim Kardashian just yet.
Not yet. So no, we just really, really, really appreciate it, don't we?
Yeah, and we're just having fun, aren't we?
We are. We love doing it, don't we?
Is that it?
I think so. I think we have wrapped episode 5.
Episode 5, we're not even that far, are we really?
No. And every week I'm like, oh no, what am I going to talk about? Yet then we never struggle to fill the time.
I know, we're like, oh, camera's gone off.
Start again.
3 hours have went.
Yeah, literally.
Love it.
No, so episode 5, done and dusted again.
It's to episode 6.